you have to go to your back office. What in the world? All right, so basically to do that, you just go to coach.teambeachbody.com. That's how you get to your back office. Again, if you're like brand new, because I know some of you just joined us this week or last week, this is your back office. This tells you where everything is. It tells you whether or not you've paid your business service fees, tells you what your paid rank is, what your lifetime rank is, because those can be different. It tells you if you are active, which means that you have 50 PV or more and all that. Hang on, someone's trying to join, admit. Okay. So that's your back office. There's also the news down here that is really important, especially right now. It's always important, but it's especially important right now just because things are changing constantly, kind of like this inventory update on things that were out of stock and then shipping things. And then also there's a lot of specials right now. And so all your specials are going to be in the Coach Breaking News. So we kind of already have been over some of that. But I want to show you up here we're going to basically do all things money tonight. So you're going to go to Monitor My Business, and you're going to go over here to Earnings and Commissions. Hang on. I have to keep adding people in because the way I have this set up is a mess. Okay, so I'm going to go back to, let's do like sometime in March. All right, so this week in March, in my first CBC, this was my paycheck, and it always is like super humbling to the core, and I don't like sharing this, but this is what it is. You need to see a paycheck to understand how to read it, and I need to be able to show it to you. So retail commission, this is basically anything that you have earned from selling something. So if someone said, hey, what workout are you doing? Or maybe you've been in contact with someone and they're like, sure, like I'm ready to go. And they want a challenge pack. You're going to earn like a $50, usually at minimum. Like this month, since they're discounted, it's probably going to be like $40 or $45. I don't really know off the top of my head, instead of the full 50, just because they're discounted, and that's how the commissions work. But like, let's say they're like, no, I don't want the challenge pack. I only want Beachbody On Demand. You get 40% off of that commission. So if they do the $99, you get a $39 commission based off of that. And so all of this retail commission right here from new sales, that goes here in this spot. So that's how much like I earned that week from just the sales that I made, like the new sales that I made. Now, subscription commission, those are things that are recurring orders. So maybe this week, I don't want to click on it in case you like know any of my customers, but here we are. So this week of my paycheck, someone did the $59 Beachbody On Demand, and that gave me $23. Someone did the $99, and so did someone else, and that gave me another $39.60. So that's where that subscription comes from. And those were people that already had bought, and it was just renewing. So that's why it would be like a subscription commission instead of a retail commission, because they already had it. They'd already paid it once. This was a renewal of that. The team bonus, this is what we're going to talk about tonight for like in terms of volume. So notice I made more here than I did from the actual subscriptions and things that I sold. That's where this business is super fun, because at the beginning of this, like you'll even watch these videos of these top coaches where they're like, hey, I worked like 40 hours on my business this week and I made $14. Like that is just what it is. When you're starting off with anything, you're starting at ground zero. And so you're not going to see anything in that team bonus until you're at least at Emerald. And you're really not going to see it start to get to a high number until you're like diamond and above. You're going to start seeing that for sure at Emerald, but you'll see a huge number of it each week once you hit diamond and above. So, and start building your team and balancing out your legs, which, like I said, we're going to talk about. So that team bonus, what's cool about that, and I can click on this, there's no one's names here that I'm aware of. So basically what happens is, as a Beachbody coach, you have two legs. If you go look at your back office and go look at your structure, which I'll show you how to do in a little bit, you have a right leg and a left leg. I know there are some companies that have 3 legs, and some companies, there's all sorts of different ways you can structure an MLM for people to make money. With Beachbody, it is 2 legs. You have a right and a left. So what's cool is, like, I'm going to use Carly as an example here. So here's Lauren. That's me. I'm Lauren, by the way. I didn't introduce myself. I'm Lauren. Nice to meet you guys. And Carly's over here on my right leg. Okay, which this is backwards for you guys. So she's over here on my right leg. And anytime that I add a coach to my right leg, Carly also gets that volume because she's on my right. So if I add Carly and then a week later I add Sarah Jo, I don't know, that volume goes through Carly's leg as well. So what's really cool about that is Carly's going to have a strong leg. Well, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just talk about just legs for a second. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. You're going to have two legs. When those legs, when coaches are placing orders on this side and coaches are placing orders on this side and their customers are all placing orders and their customers are all placing orders, you want to balance that out as much as you can. You're always going to have one leg that generates a little bit more, like some, you're just going to make more sales from these people, or these people are working their business harder or whatever than the other leg. But what's cool about it is the computer, which does this automatically, will be able to tell which leg is the strong leg and weak leg, and will be able to give you these cycle bonuses. So as an example, on the 4th of March, I had 2 cycle bonuses, which means I had on one leg, if I can figure this out here. On one leg, I had, give me just a second. So there's a lifetime cycles. I had 2 on one day. This $18 means I'm a diamond. So if you're an emerald coach, you're only gonna cycle bonus at $14 a cycle. A ruby gets $16 a cycle, and a diamond and up gets $18 a cycle. So that's what that means. So I cycled twice on this day at $18 a cycle because I was a diamond. This is my left volume. It used 100 of that. This is my right volume. It used 200 of that to make a cycle bonus. So to make a cycle bonus, you have to have 200 on one leg, 100 on the other. So what this means is I had enough coaches on one side that made at least 200, and not just coaches, but their customers as well. So this is like literally anyone within the system that I have worked with and have helped work with, if that makes sense. So that's a lot of people. So I had enough people on one side to get up to 200 in volume that day. And then I had enough people on this side to get 100 in volume. And so the computer said, oh, that's enough to make a cycle bonus. And so it took that off, and then we got back to the next number. And then it just does that until it can't go anymore. So the computer does that for you. So what's cool is, like, maybe in a couple hours later, this side starts making more sales than this side. So then it goes, oh, well, okay, now we're taking 200 from this side, but 100 from this side. And then it just switches back and forth until it can't cycle bonus, or until it can't cycle anymore. So that's where that team bonus comes in. So going back to that paycheck, oh shoot, I meant to hit X and not out. Good thing this is being recorded. Okay, I was on this one. So if you go back to this paycheck from this week, that was I cycle bonus enough to earn $252. That is whenever, and here's the thing, you guys, I shoot you straight. I don't play around with this business. There's a lot of MLM companies that will say, like, this is like easy, free money. And that's not true. No part of it is easy. You just do all the work up front and then you get paid much, much later in your business. So you do immediately get this money, the first 2, but you don't see this grow until you really start investing in your team and becoming a leader. This is that money that people call residual income, where you still do your work. You're still working your business so that you can earn these things. But this right here, that is to pay you for all the time you put in the beginning to really build a solid foundation and lead other girls to do this well also. So that's what that is. Then as a matching bonus, so this number is up, it goes up and down all the time. Sometimes it's really high, sometimes it's really, really low, sometimes it's not even there. But it's always usually around this number for me, at least right now. And so what that is I'm not going to click on this because it's going to show a lot of the coaches in my downline, and I don't want to like do that. But what that is like, let's say if Carly is a diamond, and she cycle bonused, you know, $200, I get 10% of that. So I would get a $20 bonus if I'm doing my math correctly, which is scary if I am. So that's where that comes from. I don't take money from her paycheck. Beachbody doesn't go, oh, well, Carly got $200, so we're going to take 20 of that out of Carly's and give it to Lauren's. That's not what they're doing. They give Carly that full 200, and then they give me 10% on top of it, which is insane. Like, it's insane that I get to say, oh, cool, Carly had success, and they're giving me a little bit of credit for that. It's nuts to me. So that's what they do. And so you get to look forward to that as well. As like when your coaches start having their own team bonuses, you will get that matching bonus as well. It's a really cool thing that they do structure wise. Now the fast start bonus, this is someone who comes straight in as a coach. Like they're like, yes, I want the discount, or yes, I want a coach. I want the challenge pack, and I want to sign up as a coach at the same time. That's for these people. That's where you'll see that $50, $100, $150, whatever show up here. And the fast start plus bonus, hang on, I'm going to shut my door really quick because my kids are back home. The fast start plus bonus is if you enroll 5 coaches within a 5-week period, you get an extra $100 bonus just because you grew your business so fast. So even if they're discount coaches, it doesn't matter like what they're enrolling as a coach for. If they enroll as a coach and there's 5 of them within 5 days or 5 weeks, then you get a $100 extra bonus just because you grew your business, and that's how they reward you for that. So that is what your paycheck is. That's what that looks like. Now, in case you did not know, we get paid every single Thursday morning, or so like midnights on Thursday. So we get paid, Wednesday going into Thursday, midnight on Wednesday, Thursday morning. There we go. Let me check my chat to see if there's a question. Is that for each group of 5 or one and done? So that's each group. So if you enroll 10 coaches in 5 weeks, you get $200. So yeah, it's not just like a one-time thing. So there's that, which is super cool. And then let's go into also, if you have not connected your bank account to get paid straight to your bank, the direct deposit, go to Monitor My Business and go to My EFT Management, and you can put in your routing number and everything there so that you make sure that money goes to your account on Thursday mornings. Now we are going to, and I'm trying to figure out the best place to show you guys this because there's so many ways. So if you just want to learn who your immediate team is, because this can get confusing. Some of you guys come in and you like really just aren't really sure. So this is going to show who your upline sponsor is, so who directly enrolled you, who the next upline is that is a diamond, and then star diamond. To actually see your structure, you're going to go to, once again, Monitor My Business. That's kind of the magic button in your back office is Monitor My Business. And then you're going to go down to downline, and I'm going to show you a trick so that you don't get confused. If you go to graphical genealogy, you're going to see the 2 legs. Like you're going to see you at the top, and you're going to see your 2 legs. And I'll just go ahead and click on it so you can see it. But it's going to get very confusing because you're going to see a lot of people that you don't know who they are. So like for me, I go straight here to Josh Brzezinski, and he's my husband, obviously. So he's one of my coaches, and then Chelsea's one of my coaches, and then Tara and Michelle are Chelsea's coaches. I didn't enroll them. And you'll be able to tell if they are personally sponsored, I think, because it says PS above it. So since I didn't enroll Tara or Michelle, it does not say PS above them. So they are not my coaches, but they are still in my downline because Chelsea enrolled them, and she's one of my personally sponsored. So here's an example here too, is like, again, there's someone here on my downline named Sarah Perry, who actually someone above me placed her there. But because I enrolled, this is crazy, because I enrolled, and then the coach above me who was working the business at the time then enrolled Sarah, now Sarah's volume counts for me, even though I didn't enroll her. So another example here is, I'll show you this way. So here's Josh. He's an active coach. He was Emerald at one time, but I stopped focusing on him and moved somewhere else. But he's getting back to Emerald this month. This is Josh. He did not enroll Chelsea at all. I enrolled Chelsea. But regardless, when Josh is Emerald again, he'll get Chelsea's volume. So when I get to him to Emerald and start building over here, he will start cycle bonusing off of everything that I am putting over here and everything that's going down this leg. Now that's where it gets really confusing and you kind of have to stop and go, what? So basically, again, I'm going to repeat that. This is my right leg. Carly's on this leg. Alexis is on this leg. So if you're one of their coaches, you're on this leg. And so what is going to happen is Josh, once he is an active Emerald, he will be able to access the volume on this leg and cycle bonus off of that. Now, let's look at this though. If he gets, so obviously to be Emerald, you have to have one coach on each leg. So to be Emerald, I had to have Josh so to get to Emerald, you guys, it was a big grand story. Josh was one of my coaches and my grandma was one of my coaches. And that's what got me to Emerald. That's how I started getting and tapping into those team bonuses. Josh liked Shakeology. I was already drinking my Shakeology, so I wasn't going to share with him. Josh liked it. He liked the performance line. So we had an order for him, had an order for me, and my grandma was addicted to Shakeology. And so she wanted the discount. So those were my first two coaches. This is not something that has to be like, you're not looking for like rock stars right out of the gate. That'd be great, but that's very, very rare whenever you just start a business and people already are flocking to you. Like that is not really realistic. Your first two coaches are probably going to be someone that you place there and someone who wants the discount, to be realistic with you. So Josh was my coach and my grandma was my coach, but here's what was happening. My grandma was on this side and then my grandma, yeah, she was on this side, but then Josh was on this side, but I had all this volume going down this leg because my active coach above me, who isn't active anymore, you guys, so I'm doing this all on my own at this point. My active coach above me was putting everyone on this side. So that's why I have these coaches that aren't mine, but I'm still getting their volume. So this leg on the left was growing like wildfire because it was being added to by me and other coaches. But this leg, I had to add to it myself. No one was giving me volume over here, ever. I only ever received volume on my left side. So as an example here, I don't really want to go down any further than this because it gets confusing. But as an example here, so now that I'm building myself, let's pretend Josh is actively coaching. So I'm growing his account. What I'm going to want to do, the first goal is to always get to Emerald, then Ruby, then Diamond. That's always the first goal. After you do that, you're maxed out on that volume. Then you want to start placing everyone on your weak leg. So I would love to be able to say, hey, everybody, I know exactly where you're placed within this structure, but I don't. So you're going to need to talk to your upline sponsor to figure out where you are placed. So I'm going to give an example. I do know this off the top of my head. I do know that Carly is on my right and that Kayla Slack is on Carly's right. So that therefore Kayla Slack is getting my volume and she's also getting Carly's volume and she's getting Alexis's volume and all of that. So I do know that Kayla's strong leg is on her right. Carly's strong leg is on her right. If you're on my left side, so I know for sure right now off the top of my head, Lana and Angela, you're on my left leg. So guess what is their strong leg? It's going to be their left leg too, because I'm the one adding to that. So basically you need to figure out, like I can tell you what my personally sponsored coaches are. I can tell you what leg they're on. I can't tell you any further on down than that. So you need to contact your upline sponsor and say, hey, which leg am I on? Because that is very strategic on where you're wanting to place. When you find out your strong leg, then you're going to want to, like I said, build to Emerald, build to Ruby, build to Diamond. But after you get to Diamond, that means you're getting the highest amount of volume, which is $18 versus $16 or $14. After that point, you are going to want to start building everyone else on your weak leg. For an example here, me personally, because I don't have an upline coach that helps me, I have to build evenly. I have to say, okay, I enrolled this coach today, she goes on this side. This coach today goes on this side. I have to do that back and forth, back and forth. That's what you're going to do until you hit diamond. Until you hit diamond, you're going back and forth. You got to build evenly, all right? And I'll show you what diamond looks like. But after that, you're going to want to say, hey, upline coach, which leg is my weak leg? And she'll tell you. And then after that point, you're going to put everybody on that weak leg to balance out your volume. One of my friends in this business, who is actually ahead of me, she's my upline. I'll put it that way, my great-great-grandma. She is only a 1-star diamond coach, but she makes 6 figures. The reason she's able to do that as a 1-star is because she has someone working the business above her, giving her volume. So all of you have that capability where you technically won't have to worry about rank after diamond if you don't want to, if you're wanting to build an income, and you only have to put things on your strong leg. So to explain that, because now I'm really getting deep into this, let's go first look at what is diamond, because there is a lot of confusion about what that looks like and where those coaches can be placed. And by the way, all of this, as you saw, this is under training in your back office as well. Oh no, I just need a picture. Give me the picture. Oh my goodness. Okay, so to do this with all this being funky like this, all right, I see a chat. Yes, what is diamond exactly? Good question. Okay, so let me find a good picture. Boom, perfect. Here are the ranks. So most of you on this call, you're a coach. That means you signed up and you're a coach. You are an active coach if you have an order of PV, 50 PV or more, okay? So that makes you an active coach. That means you're eligible to get your commissions. If you are an inactive coach, you do not get your commissions. So that's basically you just like a placeholder, or I don't know. I don't even really know why you would be a coach if you're not active and not placing an order. So I don't really know why they even show that, but you can be a coach and not be active because you don't have an order. Then when you enroll 2 coaches, that makes you an emerald. Now here's what will happen sometimes. Sometimes you'll enroll 2 coaches and you'll go to your back office and they're on the same side. That will not make you an emerald coach. The reason why is because of the way the cycle bonuses work, the way the volume works. Your business has to be even, because that's how you get that cycle bonus. If they're all on one side, you're not going to be able to cycle bonus because there's not going to be enough on the other side ever to get you to a cycle bonus. That's just as simple as I can explain it. So this placement is actually concrete. This is not abstract where you can move this around. Just because you have 4 coaches on this side does not make you an emerald coach. They have to be evenly placed. Now, let's say you have 2 coaches on this side and 1 on this side. You're still an emerald. Let's say you have 4 coaches on this side and only 1 on this side. You're still an emerald. So basically, this is the absolute minimum that you have to have on both sides. Now, Ruby is something that is so funny because hardly anyone ever goes Ruby. The only person on this team right now who has ever been and is Ruby, no, not currently, you're not actually Ruby currently. You were last week, is Angela Bigham, because she's a unicorn, but she's the only coach I've ever had that went Ruby, because it's actually harder. Like the hardest part is getting 2 coaches on both sides to go emerald. Angela had that happen. She had 2 girls that enrolled. They both wanted to work the business. They both got to emerald really quick, and she didn't have the discount coaches under her yet because her other coaches worked that quickly. Usually you go straight from emerald to diamond because it's easy to get those discount coaches. Just, in comparison to like working coaches, it's easier to get those discount coaches And then you eventually have someone that catches the vision and goes emerald. So as of right now, we have 6 girls that are diamond on our team, which is incredible. Not all personally sponsored under me, but just in our team as a whole. And we've got probably 2 more going diamond on Thursday, which is nuts. But basically, like what I said is, yes, worry about volume, worry about which leg you're on, but don't worry about that until you hit these ranks. Really you want to hit diamond. So you want to really go hard at diamond, because what that allows you to do is when you do start working the system, you get the highest amount per cycle bonus. So like Angela last week, she was still getting her cycle bonuses, but she was only getting $16 a cycle bonus. This week, she's getting $18 a cycle bonus. That doesn't seem like a lot until you start cycle bonusing multiple times a day, and then you're missing out on, $50 every week or so, which is a big deal if for, just for a $2, just for a 4 coach advancement, you know what I mean? So, and not to mention, you also get the extra money just from them enrolling, and you get the commissions and just all the things. So that's what's important when we're talking about placement, is getting to diamond first. Once you get to diamond, have that chat with your upline saying, okay, what's my strong leg? What's my weak leg? And then you build based off of that. Now, I know there was something else that I was supposed to talk about. I think it was time management, which is ironic because I took longer than I was supposed to on all that I just shared. But before I go to time management, I know that was like drinking out of a water hose, but is there any question that you have on money, rank, any of that before I move on? And you are allowed to unmute yourself. Tara, the blue, green, orange dots on the graphical genealogy, there's a legend at the top. When you enroll, you can see that. I think their rank is what it is. Okay, again, I did not understand volume. I did not understand the full breadth of rank until I was very much like immersed in this business. Please remember, before you get off this call and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed, that your first goal each and every month is helping 3 to 5 women get healthy, at least. All right. Please know that you do not have to worry about all of this simultaneously. If you help 3 women each month, you're going to get to diamond. You are going to build your volume. You're going to build your team. But it's important to start laying the foundation for understanding about like what diamond is, what emerald is, so that you can actually set a goal to work forward. Because if you don't know what's possible, then you're not really going to be able to work toward that. So there's that. Please know that you can always ask us questions about it, and we're here to answer that. As far as time management goes, I spent all of January working on a planner, which is so funny considering how 2020 has gone so far, because none of us have plans anymore. But this is a planner that is for your business that helps you schedule your day by the hour. I'm going to be perfectly clear with you that I feel like the biggest hypocrite ever talking about this right now, because in a normal life, I am scheduled down to the hour and the minute. But I don't even know what time I'm getting up in the next morning right now. I'm going to be very real with you. And I have noticed that that's playing a part in me not being as productive either, just so you guys know that. So I am suffering the consequences of not doing the things I need to be doing. So this is the planner that I created. It's called, mine's in a binder, so it looks different than what you'd print out, but it's just called the Coach Game Plan. It's in our Team United Legacy page as well, but it's also in the New Coach Google Doc or PDF, however you receive that. But I created this to help you understand what a vision is, like how do you create a vision? What's a contrast and clarity statement? And then what should you be doing every day? Like, what does a coach actually do? And so in this planner, I have it set up. Here's the business activity tracker. You've seen that before, I'm sure, at least some version of that, because I know Alexis still uses the one that Beachbody themselves uses. which is perfectly fine because they're honestly the same thing. I like to redo things because I'm a weirdo, and I redid that for us. But then what I use and notice there's like nothing on it because, like I said, not disciplined right now. It's my own dang fault. So let me find you an example. Carly, do you have yours in front of you?
I have it, but I'm attached to a pump right now.
Okay, got you.
Sorry.
Got you. Let me find an example of a week where my life has not been unhinged.
Give me 20 seconds and I'll grab it. Hold on.
So I like Carly's because hers is color coded. She's just prettier than I am. But like, here's an example. And just to be clear, like, I give myself grace. I'm not like, oh my goodness, I'm scheduling a bathroom break-in right here. Like, I can't, like, I'm not legalistic to that point. And I also have 2 children at home all day, every day. And so I am very realistic of, okay, I'm going to give myself a whole hour to write out, you know, the content that I need for next week in my challenge groups. Like, I'm going to give myself a full hour because even though it shouldn't take that long, it should only take 15 minutes. I know I'm going to have to wipe booties in the middle of it, or I know I'm going to have to go for a snack run, or just whatever that looks like. So I'm very like generous with that. I'm not, and I don't beat myself up if I can't get to something. I just move it around. But at least I'm aware and I know what I'm lacking in and where I'm spending my time. It has helped, you know, that whole thing where it's like we all only have 24 hours in a day. It has really helped me see what I waste time on and where I waste time the most and all of those things. Also, it really helps to schedule your workout, even if you don't have to. Some of us are home all day. Like, we wake up and we're like, when am I going to do my workout today? And that's when we set ourselves up to fail because we don't have a workout time. People that pay for these classes where they have to be there at a certain time, they go there more often, usually, because they A, are paying for it, and B, there's a set time. Like, it's on their schedule. They wrote it down. So I usually tell mamas who are struggling to get a workout in, I'm like, no, you put it down that your workout's at 1 p.m. You start drinking that pre-workout. Drink your Energize at 12:50, and you start walking down the stairs or walking to the room that you're going to work out in and get your shoes laced up. And at 1 o'clock, you hit that start button, you know. Or if you are doing the mornings, like, okay, you get up at 4:45, you drink your Energize, and at 5 o'clock, you are starting you're pushing play. And so that is what I tell people with their workout, because sometimes because we don't have to schedule it, we don't do it. And that's what really can set us back. Also, with scheduling, one of the biggest things that has helped me, like, it's honestly what probably ever propelled my business forward in any way, is if you have a significant other in your life that you work, you know, alongside of here in your home, you need to tell them when you're scheduling those work hours. You need to have that conversation of, hey, I probably need a good 30 minutes to send out these invites. What time would that be okay on Monday? Because I know you work late or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes you can do this stuff with your kids around. It's not a big, like, I can send invites with my kids around, but sometimes there's just a time where I'm like, no, I need to do this on my, like, I need to be away. I need to have my me time. And so I'll talk to Josh and be like, hey, can you like which this happened tonight. Hey, can you take the boys to go get ice cream? Because I need no noise in the house. And so he did, or he would have taken him to his parents or just whatever. So like, talk to your significant other or just whoever, your parents, if you're living with your parents, like whatever that looks like, talk to those people to let them know, so that otherwise it gets real passive aggressive and weird. Like you should have read my mind and knew that I was going to work on this right now. And now I'm mad at you. And it's like, no, like he could not read my mind and know that. So I just wanted to go ahead and put that out there. And then really, I mean, that's really all I've got in terms of like what you should be doing and just tips for like getting some time management in there. I will say this, like, I'm not the best to talk to about that because I only have 2 kids. And I know that's like a lot of kids really, but I still only have 2 kids. And so like, I know there's one mom that has 6 kids that is rocking her business and is like a 5-star diamond coach. And she just has learned how to do it in the cracks of her time. And so I'm not going to tell you there's a best way for you to do your business. For some of us, we have to get up and do it before our kids wake up, or we're not going to do it. For some of us, our kids don't give us any problems like while we do it. Another thing that I do as well, and this is for you moms of kids that are like toddlers that just really have a hard time understanding. This is what my mom did for me when I was young that helped me a lot. My parents were small business owners and always have been, always will be, I guess. But my mom, I remember her working at the desk like she was doing invoices or sending emails or whatever that looks like for that my dad needed that day. And I'd have a million questions like toddlers and kids do. And she would be like, hey, this is what pays our bills. If I don't do this, we don't get this. If you don't give me time to do this, our family can't have this, or just whatever that looks like. And so that was very like life application for me to go, oh, okay, cool. Instead of me thinking, oh, my mom ignores me. My mom hates me. I never thought that. And even if I had, my mom was reassuring me, this is why she was doing what she was doing. So feel free, again, to openly communicate to your kids, mommy is helping women get healthy. Mommy has to work out so she can take better care of you. Mommy is prepping our food right now because that's what makes us healthy and keeps us out of the doctor's office. So I'm constantly telling my kids, like, which I do set aside playtime. We still have playtime. But I'm constantly setting boundaries and parameters so that they understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, so that they don't feel slighted or cheated by mommy's job or mommy's hobby that she's doing. But I think it's very important for them to see this is what grownups do. And it's such a good life lesson right there in your home that you can give them. So anything, speaking of children, mine is not cooperating. Change my business when I communicated. Yes, women are good communicators until it comes time to tell someone we need something, right? We don't want to say, hey, I need time, or mommy needs to work. We can communicate everything else except for that, and that's when we get passive aggressive. So yes, you have to communicate that with your spouse. And now Josh will actually say things like, hey, do you need me to take the boys on a bike ride so you can X, Y, or Z? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't I talk to you about this like right out of the gate? I do understand that not all of us will have spouses that are on board right at first, because it's very hard to understand this business. And like I said earlier, you don't really see the payoff of your hard work at first. And so that can jade a lot of men thinking, wow, this is taking a lot of time for my wife, and the laundry pile is piling up right now. And that can be very tense in the beginning. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because you're learning how to work a business while still doing the things that you've always done. And then there was a point in our marriage, at least for sure, where we had to talk about like, hey, can you take one load of laundry a week? Or can you do, one little small tweak that just made my life easier. Like Josh has, which I still load the dishwasher all throughout the day. I don't leave it piling up for him at night, but at night, while I'm finishing up business things, Josh will do the dishes. So like, there's just one little tweak, maybe that he can pick up or something like that. Don't expect him to if you're not asking or communicating. I feel like that's like, hey, you're a Beachbody Coach 101. Like, I feel like I always need to help moms and wives understand that, just so, because men are not mind readers, bless their sweet souls. All right, anything else? Carly, was there anything else on time management that you can think of?
I don't think so. I think just a lot of like my girls feel like they're on the phone. Sorry, Hayes speaking of parenting. That's how I'm getting through this call. A lot of my girls feel like they're on their phones 24/7 now, and they haven't ever done that. And I went through that too. And I just knew that call that we had last month where you talked about just blocking out the day. And I have to do that too, where I used to try to send share cards or send invites as Hayes is sitting in my lap, or now I have 2 kids or everything else. So I just block it all out now, where their nap time, even if it's not a nap time, I've communicated to Clint from 12 to 1 today, that's what I'm going to do. So I know you don't feel like you have to answer people as soon as they message you. Like if they message you and like, hey, I want to do this, they can wait 3 hours till it's your time to send it. You don't have, I used to feel like I had to do it right then or they were going to not do it. And so that's one thing I've learned, I guess, through time blocking and just making sure that I only run my business during that time. So I'm not on my phone all day, which you'll see me post Instagram stuff all day, but I'll just get on there really fast. And I've actually found that I like scroll and creep less because I get on there with a purpose and I don't go down a rabbit hole, except sometimes. But yeah, I think you covered.
That was something yes, I'm really glad you said that because I forgot about that aspect as well. It's very easy to get on your phone and say, okay, I'm going to go work. And you get on there and you scroll for an hour and you feel like you worked, but you didn't. That's not working. Also, creating pretty pictures on Canva, that technically doesn't count as part of your power hour. That's fun extra stuff, but you do not need to spend a ton of time creating pretty content that doesn't have a big return of investment for your time. So eventually what's really cool too is right now you're looking at your Canva stuff, you're looking at your word swag or whatever you're using, and which we'll get there if you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, and you're not seeing any templates. But over time, you do this enough, you're going to have you're going to be like, oh, I need to talk about like my coaching story today. Okay, I'll reuse this one, and it's going to take you no time. And we share a lot of those with you guys. So don't get overwhelmed with that kind of stuff. But also, yes, you do not have to be this does not stay at my side all hours of the day unless I want it to. There are days where I scroll because I know I'm scrolling, and that's fine. But here's another thing too. I want to just go ahead and caution you. Stalking other coaches' accounts is not going to give you good content. All that's going to do is make you feel like you'll never be able to be at their level. All it does is cause you to feel like, oh my gosh, like I can't post like this. How does she have all this content? Like you start like getting overwhelmed. Now it's okay if you're like, okay, I'm going to go for 15 minutes. I'm going to go see what type of content she's posting. Cause I mean, success does leave clues like, oh, okay, she's posting a transformation photo. Okay. She's posting a recipe. Okay. She's doing this. But if you're sitting there like looking down to the, what hashtags is she using? What is this? What about that? That's all that's going to do is create doubt in your ability to be your own leader and lead your own team and lead your own self. It is okay to check and see what they're doing, but to sit there and creep and say, oh, I'm just doing this to get some inspiration, you're going to be there all day long because that just isn't how it works. You have to think about, once again, this is going back to your vision, going back to your goals and your mission, and make posts based off of that and where you are going and where you are taking your team, and not seeing exactly what Melanie Mitro is doing. Like I said, success does leave clues. They're successful for a reason. You want to at least kind of have a game plan, but don't just like go to their account and scroll and get overwhelmed and think you'll never get there, because that's also not true. Yeah, people can wait. Carly, that was a good one. People, like, you do not have to send that share cart that very minute. You're good. They can wait a couple hours and know that you are a human. Also, if it's a potential coach talking to you, they want to know that, hey, look, like she took her time and I'm not going to be like on demand for everyone that's sending me a message, because they take that and understand that as well. Anything else time management wise? Another thing that I get asked a lot is, do I have to send the invites every day, or can I sit down and send invites all at once on like a Saturday? Absolutely. If your brain works that way, you can do it that way. There was a season of my life where that's how I had to do it. Now I'm able to do a little bit every single day, and I actually prefer that. But there are seasons where I'm like, okay, like I'm going to send all my invites on Saturday or all my whatever, which again, we'll get to invites and how to do that effectively in a little bit, but you can switch up your schedule to make it work.
That is what I 100% have had to do since I've had Coleman. And so pretty much one day, depending on Clint's schedule, my husband works swing shift. So depending on his schedule, that is 100% how I have to work my business right now.
Yeah. So don't like throw up your hands if you haven't done anything for 2 days, because you can make up for that. Always try to post and be consistent and show your workout and stuff. But like, other than that, you don't have to do all your invites like on that specified time. Like, you can do it all in one day. So, all right, I'm going to let you guys go because it's almost 9 o'clock and that's late. It's 10 o'clock for some of you. If you have any questions, just ask them in our Facebook message thread and we'll get back to you. And then you can also talk to your direct upline coach. But I hope this was helpful. All right, gonna end it. Bye, you guys.